Good day, friends. Welcome to yet another edition of Konexio Corporate Explorer. We are today in Chennai to talk to the management of a SME-bound IPO, FlySBS Aviation Limited. This company is into private charter aircraft and arranges for passengers to be flown not only domestically but internationally as well. I have with me the founders and promoters of FlySBS Aviation Limited. The three founders are Captain Deepak Parshuram on my immediate left,
Hi.
Mr. Kannan Ramakrishnan here, and I also have Mr. Amba Shankar, the third promoter. Let's understand from them three different individuals, not necessarily connected to each other, setting up this new venture. So I start with you, Captain, because I believe you would be the common link between these three people and being the aviation hub. What brought this venture?
Well, sir, there are two things as far as our association is concerned. Me, Kannan and Amba Shankar go back 25 years. Okay, family, friends and associated for the last 25 years. So we decided that now we should come and associate ourselves professionally as well as a business. Just to add to that, you see, while I come with a background of aviation, both in private jets and cargo, Kannan comes with a wealth of experience in the luxury business and retail business, while Amba Shankar is very deep into the operational aspect of any business. So I thought it will be an ideal synergy for all the three of us to get together. So this was the foundation.
Okay. So you have a combination of somebody who dealt with luxury goods, again catering to the same segment of people, captain who knew the nitty-gritty of flying aviation, and the man who could control all the strings financially, being the third partner. So this is a unique combination of three people with different skill sets but catered to the same industry. Captain, carrying on further, you got together, you started a business. First it was cargo, now it is passenger. Is it, yes, there is a link between the two, but what came first? Of course, I know you listed your cargo venture initially, but how did the two of them happen?
So the idea was always that we saw a big market opportunity, both in the cargo in the Southeast Asian markets or the ASEAN region, and this private jet was a growing market of high demand and underserved in India. This was the idea. So we started both parallelly, almost at the same time. The cargo airline needs a lot more efforts because being an international cargo airline, we have to set up a larger amount of infrastructure, manpower, resources and the rest, which also helped as a synergy for the private jet operation. So we could bring in, huge amount of resources. We built a lot of infrastructure in operations, in engineering, in maintenance, in security control and the rest, which could also be used in the private jet segment. And vice versa, there are certain specialized niche activities in a private jet, which is also of a great assistance to our cargo airline. So we found a synergy, we started it. Of course, the AFCOM cargo took a little longer to get off the ground because of much larger aircraft and a much larger market we are operating to. So that's how it started.
Okay.
And we are getting the synergies of both, and the idea of also doing the cargo, while one is a very specialized niche market, which is the private jets operation, and the cargo is a volume driven, a larger, size in terms of the business.
Captain, one off the cuff question, if I could ask. If somebody comes to you in an emergency, how soon can you get him onto a charter flight and onto his destination?
There are two things. If it is domestic,
Yes.
emergency or otherwise, we are ready to get airborne maximum in 4 hours time. And in the case of international flights, it takes a little longer. But in the event of a medical emergency, 6 hours time, we are ready to get airborne.
Imagine flying unplanned emergency medical, particularly in just 6 hours. You can leave India for any part of the world. That's what this service can come to. Let's carry on. Sir, you have two types of leases available for aircraft. One is dry lease, one is wet lease. There would be advantages, disadvantages of one over the other. What is it, if you could explain for our viewers, what happens in one and the other?
Well, in the wet lease, so basically the aircraft belongs to somebody else, and we take that, for using it for certain number of hours, and then we cater to the demand, from the market, what we generate. So here, the advantage is that, we don't need to go through the cumbersome process of, getting the approval and, getting the registry done in our, the company's name and the entire regulatory processes. However, it comes with the price that you don't have the luxury and flexibility of using the aircraft to your requirement. So it is curtailed, within that boundaries for which we have taken it from the other person or other operator. However, when it comes to the dry lease, it is as good as the aircraft is yours completely with you 24/7, 365 days time. There are no restrictions, put on to the usage of the aircraft. And if the demand is more, we can use it more. And if the demand is not, that much, we can keep it parked. So it is purely the operation is in your control. And that gives us the economics of, the scale and the potential to leverage the asset to its optimum, level of usage. And that's what, adds value to our business. So that's why we would like to have our entire fleet in dry lease.
So is that the reason why, as part of the object of the issue, you are looking to acquire 6 aircraft under the dry lease
Absolutely.
system?
Absolutely, sir. And one thing, what right from the beginning of our business until today, what we have seen, this is a very emerging business and it's fast growing, and the demand is every day, we are witnessing the surge in the demand. And the limiting factor is the number of assets available to cater to the demand. Now, when we want to have the expansion done, we were very clear that we would like to expand it with the dry lease model, so that the assets will be completely available for, its optimum utilization, and we can cater to the emerging demand and we can satisfy the clientele. Instead of saying we don't have an aircraft to offer it to you, we will have the fleet completely under our disposal, which can take care of the surging demand.
Sir, going forward, today you are at Chennai as a base. Would there be a scenario where you park some of your aircrafts at other destinations in the country and offer that as a service to people? Or all your aircraft will always be stationed at Chennai?
Not necessarily, sir. I mean, our base is Chennai, but we already operate, from different, parts of the country, depending upon, the requirement. And as we expand our fleet, we have plans of, parking, few of our aircrafts into different, locations, which has got higher demand currently.
Especially in the western region and also in the northern region, there is a lot of demand. And in addition to that, there is a global demand also which is going up, especially after post-COVID. Post-COVID, there is a lot of demand for the private jets. Once the awareness has been pretty much high amongst the public, and there are a lot of first-time private jet users who have come and asked for, inquired with us, and they've also used our services.
So virtually you have flown all over the world.
Almost, yes.
Maybe Antarctica is somewhere where we haven't had adventurous people wanting to go.
Yes.
Mr. Kannan, you've seen revenues grow significantly for you. In FY23, you were at just about 35 crores, and now you have added 100 to it, and you're now at 137, and that too in 9 months. What has led to this? New aircrafts, business getting established. What are the drivers for this?
Couple of things happened, during this period, and between FY23 and FY24, the significant changes that our dry lease aircraft, we got it, and we got the air operators permit as well, and we started operating this aircraft. And plus, we also expanded our fleet with the help of couple of wet lease aircraft during this period from 23 to 24. So this capacity expansion, additional assets being put into use, has helped us to grow the revenue, and could cater to the larger number of the client.
So if I try to extrapolate what you have said, post this IPO, you'll have 6 more aircraft joining your fleet. This would lead to a further expansion in revenue and therefore profits. And with that money, you would be, I presume, able to add more aircraft.
Certainly, sir.
So everything is firing for you on what? Multiple engines?
On all cylinders, sir. We are firing on all cylinders.
Certainly. One important factor, I would like to place it here. India as a country, for its, size and for its kind of, economic growth, the number of private jets available for the clientele, to avail its service is very less. Just to give you a kind of an idea, there are around 70-75 jet machines are only is available in the country,
Okay.
which can be, availed on a commercial purpose. In comparison, US has got more than, 15,800 aircrafts.
Okay.
A geography like Middle East has got 900 plus aircrafts. And we are sooner going to be the third, largest economy. And the kind of, the length and breadth of our country and the various opportunities for the clientele, to travel to different destinations. The significant, the increase in the fleet size is very important. So that is the whole idea. And obviously, when we add more aircrafts to our fleet, that gives us an opportunity to grow our revenue. Obviously, the profits as well.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Let's move on a little further and understand. Sir, you floated a company in 2024, you listed AFCOM, and now you're coming with FlySBS and 2 distinct activities.
True.
One, cargo, and the second, passenger traffic. You have a lot of synergy, as you yourself has said.
True.
Did the thought ever come to your mind that this could be a division of the same company and not 2 separate companies?
The idea is very simple, sir, that these are 2 different businesses which have a lot of commonality. So it brings out a lot of, support and synergy.
Right.
While per se the business is different, so we decided to keep it as 2 separate entities. Whereas the infrastructure, the manpower, the expertise, and the economies of scale are leveraged by both the businesses.
Right.
Just to add to Captain's, the version, on the front end, the target audience for both the businesses are totally different. Our cargo business, our clientele are the freight forwarding community, and we cater to the B2B side of the business.
Correct.
In the cargo. When it comes to the passenger, in the private jet, we directly deal with the end user. We cater to the B2C. And so the demands are totally different, the expectations are totally different. And here, as Captain was mentioning, that we cater to the very specific and end user and to his requirements, where everything has to be meticulously planned and delivered. So that is the reason that we have kept both the businesses independent, but whatever the aviation side of synergies we can take, which we have been doing it successfully.
So friends, a thought or a question that could have been on your mind, why two different companies has been well addressed by two different people on the subject. How does one look at your clientele? What are the kind of people who come? Is it the rich, super rich, corporates, or you have different walks of life also who are your clients?
Predominantly, the usage of the private jets were only limited to the top cream de la cream, the ultra rich in the country. But that scenario is changing by the day, changing by the month and year. Of late, a lot of first-time users of private jets are coming into the business, asking for inquiring about the costing, and when they see it more affordable, and they volunteer and they use the services. Once tasted private jet flying, where they have the flexibility of the time and the availability of the aircraft at their disposal, visiting multiple cities within a day or together as a sector, it gives them the added advantage. This is what people do. A lot of people use it for their business purposes. Their time is essential and a critical factor for them. They can't wait for the commercial airlines, waiting in the queues and stuff like that. However, in a private jet flying, the aircraft is available at their disposal, and the moment they come, they get airborne. That kind of advantages have brought in a lot of corporates, in addition to the industrialists. A lot of celebrities also use, for whom time is a essential factor. And a lot of the IT companies and many people have started using our services of late.
Sir, one more question. People believe that the big commercial planes are huge, so they travel faster and they get you to your destination much quicker. Is that a correct thinking? Or the speed of your smaller private jets is equal or maybe even faster?
I will answer this question in two ways. One is speed, another one is an altitude. Both the altitude and the speed are equal or even higher in a private jet. In a private jet, they generally get the approvals to fly at the higher altitudes than what a commercial jets can fly. In addition to that, where you are beyond the weather and there is not much of traffic there, and the speed is and the time is saved. In addition to that, as the speed is concerned, these are all high speed jet engines which are capable of flying in par or even higher than the regular commercial airlines.
Sir, just to add to what Amba said, there are two things that come here. One is that a private jet is a luxury jet. So basically the philosophy in making it is that it has to be better than your commercial travel.
Right.
Faster, higher, more comfortable, less noise, low vibration, better cabin comfort. There are private jets which have come today which can maintain the pressure of ground level.
Right.
So when you go from one place to the other, you never realize you flew the plane. Generally, all commercial aircraft maintain a pressurization level of 8,000 feet. There are now aircraft which come where you maintain pressurization level of 3,000 and 4,000 feet.
So it's virtually like ground level.
Like you are on ground, you don't feel the jet lag, you don't feel the inertia. The purpose of making it fly higher is that you fly above weather, you fly above traffic, so you don't have to wait for anybody. So that is a philosophy on which it works. And contrary to a belief, thinking that smaller aircrafts are unsafe, these are as safe as any large commercial aircraft.
We have now moved from the office of FlySBS to their aircraft, and we are somewhere in the skies above Chennai, and I have the promoters with me. So the first question to you, Captain Deepak. Aviation, DGCA, there are a lot of regulatory issues that keep on coming up. So your experience with running the freighter part of the business and now the passenger, there must have been a lot of commonality and certain benefits that you derive by having such a business. Could you share some experiences?
Well, yes. When it comes to the regulatory aspects, they are large and strong. But however, the entire regulatory aspect is focused towards your safety and security. That is the so when it comes to regulatory aspect, it is a high bar. It's not neither DGCA nor operators ever play with it. So having said that, it is extensive, but it is essential. Now coming to the commonalities, yes, there are commonalities. Yes, the entire commonality arrives in terms of the common manpower. The experienced people we have experts in security, we have experts in engineering, highly experienced examiner captains. So these bring a lot of strength for both the businesses together.
So to put it in a layman's way of asking, so whether you dispatch an aircraft which is carrying passengers or cargo, an aircraft is an aircraft.
So it is all the same.
Right. Thanks for that simplification. Sir, what would be the company using the IPO proceeds for?
Basically, our idea and purpose of going for a IPO is expansion of our fleet. When we have seen the market demand is such rising, so we thought it is imperative for us to make these machines available to meet out the market demands. So the entire proceeds is going to be used towards the expansion of our fleet in multiple segments: large cabin size, medium and small cabin sizes.
So you have targeted currently to use 6 aircrafts on the IPO proceeds. Once the IPO is completed, I know you cannot share things beyond the IPO, but if you could share a vision for what of the company, what do you aim to be, say 5 years down the line?
We want to become an operator, a pan-India operator in India, and also we want to make the private jet aviation accessible and affordable for people. Today, what is available only for the cream de la cream can be made available for the next levels of people who are still thinking that owning or flying a private jet is not my cup of tea. Even for them to make it accessible and affordable.
So if I could use a phrase which was used in the earlier days of aviation, when Captain Gopinath came with Deccan Airways and used R.K. Lakshman's common man. I'm not saying getting down there, but you want to bridge the gap between the super rich and the rich. So even they could use a facility like this in times of need. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely, you're right. Today, the awareness of the private jet has come. However, the costing and how economical it could be when you compare to a first class or a business class in a commercial airline, the gap is not very big.
Correct.
In addition to that, the kind of the facilities and the features and the advantages that they would have while flying private, this is something which we want to take to the market. We want to target not just the current people who are using the private jets, but also bring in new set of people into this private jet flying.
Right. So sometime earlier you mentioned that the market in India is very, very small, probably a nascent stage. Even though it is so, what is the competitive landscape? I mean, how many operators, as a ballpark number, would there be? How many aircrafts would be operating? in this space in the country? Any sort of sense you could share?
Well, a number of operators, yes, there are a good number of operators in India, but not enough to cater to the market demands. Right? In terms of the number of the private jets which are commercially available, if you actually go to see, there are not more than about 50 or 60 aircrafts which are commercially available for flying. There could be some private users, but keeping that apart, what is available for commercial usage is very minimal. But the more the machines are available in India, the demand is going to rise. And the more number of operators coming will increase the pie.
So, if I do simple maths, IPO proceeds 6 aircraft, you say 50, 60 is the number of planes available in this country. So you are already talking of a double-digit market share. Let's leave it at that on market share. We don't want to cross the dividing line between getting into forward-looking, but very interesting thought. Sir, you are talking of technology as an important factor. What is this technology that you are talking about in your business, and what is the impact of that?
Yeah, any business, you would understand that, from the beginning to the growth stage when it enters into, and the scalability when we are aiming for the scalability of the business, it can happen only with the technological intervention. The technology becomes must in order to comprehend that growth and sustain that growth. So here also, as our fleet grows, we clearly have envisaged some sort of technical intervention where the client gets the benefit out of it, and the interface becomes more easier for them to communicate with us as an organization. So that is what we have thought about it, and we have begun our journey. We are in the development stage, and sooner we will be rolling it out, and a technological intervention which would make the entire private jet flying as well as booking much more easier. And to talk more in detail, I'm happy that we are joined with our CTO, Mr. Smith Vakaria. I request him to share a little bit more insight that what we are up to.
So Smith, Mr. Kannan was talking about innovation, technology. So could you tell us a little more about what you are actually doing or planning or in the works?
Of course, sir. Hi. So as Kannan sir, Captain Deepak and Amba have expressed that we would like to democratize the entire private flying, bring more people in, and when we hit that scale, it's going to be difficult to just emulate this with more people. Technology will help us immensely in that area. So you want to build an architecture that helps us, provide the same quality, the same level of finesse, and give a seamless experience to our customers, wherein technology will enable that, as a backend or a supporting role, make sure that it is giving a complete 360 towards how a consumer of private aviation would experience when he talks to, say, Captain Deepak.
Thanks, Smith, for speaking to us and giving us a sense of what technology can do even in private jet travel.
Yes, sir, and many more. Thank you.
The proof of the pudding is in the pie. Similarly, in your business, customer delight is the final key to anything being good, bad, or ugly. You have mentioned in the document that 95% of business comes from repeat customers. If I understand that or read that correctly, it means somebody who's come to you has enjoyed the experience and therefore come back. What is it that you bring on the table that gets the person, the customer, back to you again and again?
Yeah, thanks for raising this question, sir. In fact, when we began this journey, and we had, we were very clear in our mind that, we would like to rewrite what has been currently, is the norm in the industry. And we have taken, a lot of initiatives in that direction. And a very clear instruction from, Captain Deepak is, private jet travel cannot be one another experience for the client. It has to be completely a different one. They should, remember that experience, which should make them, to come back to us time and again. And that was a clear, motive. So we have put in all the efforts in that direction in order to, right from, the clients understanding the requirement of their travel, structuring the travel plan, making it very convenient for them, and having the flexibility built in. End of the day, the customer is preferring to travel by private jet for the convenience and the flexibility. So taking that into consideration, creating the plan, by accommodating their requirements. And we go to the final, very minute details of, understanding their requirements for food and beverages. And just to tell you and a couple of examples. And we have gone to an extent of, searching for a particular desert for one of our clients when they have visited in Delhi, where our crew arranged that particular desert from a particular shop of, the customer's choice. And we have brought it, and which has really delighted the customer. So we go to that extent. And there are instances where the customer clearly specifies that, what kind of beverages they want, what food they want. And all these things are meticulously taken into consideration and delivered. So, and beyond this, very genuinely and passionate, our staff member, they communicate that, to the client that, we are very sincere in our approach, and whatever, we are offering it to them, and whatever we are doing in FlySBS is sincere and genuine to the best of our ability. And that's what makes the customers happy, and probably that is the reason they come back to us again.
So, friends, while I was talking to the promoters informally, not everything was on camera, I learned one thing very interesting. You don't take a private jet just to reach there faster. You take it because that is the only alternative available. Commercial flights fly between point A and point B, maybe point B to point C. But if you want to fly from point A to point C, you either take multiple flights to get there, or you spend the whole day reaching there, which means you have wasted time. Just imagine flying 500 kilometers, 45 minutes, and you are there in that time. You do your meeting, come back, and what you did was use the charter against taking 3 flights to reach there, 3 flights to get back, and spending 2.5 days. So think about what this company offers, what is the service it's offering, and statistics which were given to you. India has less than 60-70 planes which are used commercially for this higher service, against the figure of around 17 to 19,000 which the United States of America has. Mind you, we are almost the 3rd largest economy in the world, growing rapidly. We are a large country, geographically as well. So the opportunity seems tremendous. Thank you, gentlemen, for talking to us. Really enjoyed your free and frank opinion, and more importantly, the lovely weather, smooth flight that we are having.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of yet another episode of Konexio Corporate Explorer. This time we were in Chennai talking to the management of FlySBS Aviation Limited, a company which would be tapping the capital markets on the SME exchange. Their issue would be opening shortly. We met the promoters in their office in Chennai, then traveled in their aircraft which they use as their service for traffic and passengers, flew over Chennai and have now come to the end of this episode. Do subscribe to our channel, comment on the same, and a disclaimer that this is only for educational purposes, and if you like to subscribe to this issue, please refer to your financial advisor. Thank you.